52 deaths per year. That's 29% more than vending machines. It is only 5 more than sharks. However, toilets kill you more than sharks. This is something that needs to be more talked about. Likewise with Disney, this is something we should probably fear and something we use in our everyday lives that I would feel most of you are unaware of. I've recently discovered the untold truth on how the devil himself has created a weapon like this. Now, before you go clicking away and being like, what the fuck is this? He's got a whiteboard with a toilet on it. Well, if you must insist on staying, and if you'd like to see the truth as have I, let me explain to you how toilets will one day destroy us all. 1592, Sir John Harrison created the toilet. That same year, the London Plague had happened. That plague that had struck London had caused people to shit an enormous amount. Coincidence? I think not. 1977, jump a couple of years. Elvis died on the toilet. You know what else was created in 1977? Apple II had released a computer. New York had a blackout. 2 things right there. What do we do every time we go sit on a toilet? Sit on your iPhone. When there's a blackout, what still works? Your fucking toilet. Coincidence? There's no such thing. 2012, South Park. Clyde's mom. Reverse cowboy. I didn't know exactly what this was at first, but from further research into South Park's toilet mayhem, I had found Butters sat facing backwards on the toilet. And like he had said, this isn't the official quote, but it was to use as a table to play with his toys. Now, genius? Possibly. However, I think that's what Clyde's mom was getting to when referring to the reverse cowboy. She was not on a toilet, she was in her bedroom, however, so it may have been a subject that she was talking about with somebody else. May have been, being a Einstein herself. Now, as I was preparing this whiteboard and my little demonstration, I was thinking, why toilets? Why specifically a bowl with water in it and the material it's made out of? I was like, there's got to be another way of going about this. Like, what do we do before toilets? So I wrote down some solutions here. Because you see, the problem with the way the toilet is set up, there is a huge number of deaths that happen of kids drowning in the water per year of toilets. Now, I can't exactly remember the number off the top of my head, but it's more than you'd think. I think it's like 52 or something like that. 52 kids die per year from drowning in a toilet. And not only that, there are elderly people who also have hard times getting on and off a toilet. They end up falling off, hitting their head, either break a hip, that's it, they're done for the rest of their lives. Solutions. Guardrail? Maybe. I've seen those in hospitals and stuff. Some elderly people, I'm sure in elderly homes, there's like, I've seen them in gas stations. Guardrails? Not a bad solution. I can get on board with that. What about the no water? You know how there's that little cesspool of water at the bottom of it? Why does there have to be that? There's already a bunch of water that comes flying in. If you have a higher pressured system of water to push out whatever, had been put into the toilet, no kids drowning. Carbon fiber. I wrote this one down because there was a couple of incidences. There's not like, a per year of this one, but this was supposedly a problem that had come up. Problem with the material that your toilet is made out of. Put something too heavy falls onto it, even your body falls onto it, it'll break. And it's not like, it breaks up into little shards, but it's kind of like glass. It'll form sharp pieces and sharp edges when it breaks. So if you fall onto it and it breaks, it's gonna form like a spike, kind of like glass, and boom, there goes your neck. Solution? Carbon fiber. Now, personally, I don't think these are good solutions. Well, they're good solutions, but I don't think it's the solution. I was like, there's gotta be a better way. There's gotta be a better version of a toilet out there. The Asian standing shower. Now, I don't think they would call it a shower. I had been doing some research into the Asian culture of how some of them have toilets. And this one caught my eye. I was like, oh, this is not bad. So basically, what it is it's like, think of a toilet, like the top of it, where it's like, the bowl, and then you got the seat cover thing. But instead of that being elevated and there's an actual bowl outside of the ground, it's just in the ground. Like, you don't sit on the ground over this bowl. You simply, some would say you'd squat over it, which is another point I'm going to get to. But you can stand while you do it. I mean, we stand and walk all the time. You should be a professional at it. You've been doing it since the age of, 2? And you might also be thinking to yourself, you know, I'm not old, I'm not a kid, you know, I have no problem using a toilet. I've never fallen into it, possibly broken it, and sliced my neck open. You know, it could happen, but you know, I'm very careful. Why should I go through all these extra lengths if, you know, this problem may never occur to me? Well, this is a problem most people I don't think can fix. The way you sit on a toilet is bad for your colon. See, now I feel most people, especially since we use our phones on the toilet, they would hunch over on their knees. They'd put their shoulders over their hips. Now the problem with that is, excuse my language, but your anus and the organ of your colon will pinch, which is causing you to have to push harder, push more into, you know, having to take thy shit. You know, what comes from that is, you know, there's diarrhea, you can get blood clots, there's a lot of bad things. Hemorrhoids is a huge one. I mean, it's almost a list that can goes on and on about how bad it is to be shitting on a toilet, especially in a position like that. Now you could just, you know, sit upright, shoulders with hips, you know, good, be a psychopath, stand there, look straight, and think about how the toilet could kill you. However, I looked into some other solution. You know, if they'd known about this with toilets and they tell you to sit upright, but then they invent the phone, you know, you're screwed. Like, what do they expect us to do? Shit stool. It's a stool, not shit stool, not stool as referring to as your shit. It's a literal stool like that toddlers would use to reach up for the counter. It's quite literally a stool that you put at the edge of your toilet, and you put your feet onto it and raise the position of your legs. I was kind of questioning this because if being hunched over and pinching, wouldn't that make it worse? No, because of the way, instead of your upper body moving forward, it's your lower body going up. Now, because of that, it actually opens up more of your internal organs in your anus. What the fuck am I doing? So I know it's hard to watch this video and go back to your toilet. I know, it seems so scary. I used to have a fear of toilets when I was younger. I hated how loud they were. So sometimes I'd take a shit and I would just leave it. But you can't live your life in fear. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't go shit. You have to shit. There's just no way you can't. Now, you could take some precautions that I had said here today and try to make yourself shit healthier, shit better, not have any problems. However, I feel like this information I needed to get out there. It is something I've never heard really talked about. As I was doing the research into it, I realized that toilets are the devil and you should never shit in them ever again. You should never shit in a toilet.